What's going on, everybody? B. Scott, I'm here with
G.O.D.
And on today's show, we got our quarterback ranks. These are our top 12 quarterbacks that we're going to be ranking ahead of the 2021 NFL season.
Bottom to top, your starters, we got them right here. You already know. Plug.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. B. Scott and G.O.D. here, and we're going over our quarterback ranks. Top 12 quarterbacks for the fantasy season 2021. So, before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. Comment. Let us know you don't agree with one of our quarterbacks. That's fine. Drop us a comment. Tell us who you think is in your top 12. So, let's dive right into it. Number 12 quarterback, we're going to start off the board, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, our number 12 quarterback. I got him here because last season, you saw what happened with the emergence of Justin Jefferson. 35 touchdowns. He had a pretty good season. Overall, he's a pretty safe play here at the 12th spot. Now, could you say he's going to jump up into that 10th spot? Probably not. But if you're looking for a safe play in a deeper league, if you're in a 12-man league and wait till the last round to get your quarterback, Kirk Cousins, absolute viable option. So I would be looking for Kirk Cousins here at the 12th spot.
Yeah, me too. I got him ranked somewhere at 13. You know what I mean? But, this is the thing that happens when you get a mediocre quarterback who's like a little bit efficient. You know what I'm saying? And you add this beast at wide receiver. They can actually outproduce their ADP. You know what I'm saying? He finished 11 last year, like you mentioned, at 20 fantasy points per game. If Justin Jefferson has a bigger season than his rookie season this year coming up, I mean, the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get these kind of targets, like a Julio Jones on your team, which we'll talk about Tannehill in a few minutes, but the sky's the limit for you, and you got a good offensive line and a good running back coming out that backfield. Man, it's just clockwork. Kirk Cousins, you got to go get him. That's what he do.
Yeah, pretty safe to say he's the QB 12.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford, our quarterback 11. It's pretty safe to say he gets traded to the Los Angeles Rams. An upgrade here. Arguably one of the best teams he's ever played on. They have a great defense, a very good run game, but obviously Cam Akers being out, maybe that bolsters Stafford to throw the ball a little bit more. But Sean McVay likes to run the football, play defense. Jared Goff, very manageable quarterback. I think Stafford here could be an upgrade for the offense. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, viable wide receiver 2s in this offense, and I think Stafford is going to finish just right around that 10 mark. That's really a safe place to put him here.
Yeah, I think so too. And, expecting him to be anything more than around the 10 mark is a little bit hard to do. You know what I'm saying? They have a very dominant defense. They're going to have a lot of short fields. So, I'm not really sure what he can do as a passer, given he's never really been that kind of efficient kind of guy. He's been known more of a gunslinger in his career, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that in this offense. Now, the offense around him, excellent weapons. Bobby Trees, you got Cooper Kupp. Even Deshaun Jackson came over there, what I'm saying, to retire in L.A. You got Darrell Henderson running behind the oldest offensive line in football. So there could be a lot of chances for them to pass the ball and just be efficient. But at the 10 or 11 spot, you know what I mean, I would love to take that guy there.
Yeah, Stafford, safe place to put him, right at the 11.
Safe QB1.
Justin Herbert. We got him at the QB 10 now. I get it. A lot of people are really high on this guy. To say that he's going to have a downswing, it's hard to say. But sophomore slumps do happen. We've seen it in many quarterbacks, especially after first seed Lamar Jackson you saw last year, second year.
But we also seen sophomore quarterbacks come out and absolutely kill it. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, like you just said, both MVPs in their second year, and this is what's been coming out lately. You look at Kyler last year, he finished as the QB2 in his second year. So, I mean, with the upgrades they have at wide receiver and this guy, Josh Palmer, they took in the third round, with the exact pick that they took Keenan Allen at the 310, I mean, this is what this offense has needed for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why they've been in a lot of one-score games in the past. You know what I'm saying? Just losing by a lot of one-score games. Keenan Allen, they just throw it to him on the first check down, and that is what it is. Now you got a playmaker in this Josh Allen guy. Watch out for him. Dynasty, you should be going to get this kid the third, fourth round. I mean, it's an absolute steal, pro-ready. I like Justin Herbert a lot, and I think he's probably going to exceed this 9 spot that he was at last year. I really do, especially in that division. You got all those weapons over there in Denver. Who knows what the Raiders is going to do? But then you got Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? These are 6 games where you're going to shoot out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, a value pick.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, we got him at the 10 spot, and 31 touchdowns last year.
That's a rook.
That's what I'm saying. One rookie of the year.
1 hour before the season.
He's got all the weapons. I get it. All the hype is around Justin Herbert to exceed expectations here. New head coach, new offensive coordinator. There's a lot of moving pieces here. Yeah. Now I'm not down on Justin Herbert, I promise you. But there's a lot of great quarterbacks in this league that have proven where they should be ahead of this guy. That's the only reason really he's at this spot.
Yeah.
So Justin Herbert, he's at our 10 spot. Of course, he's probably going to exceed expectations. But
Oregon Ducks, stand up, go get the Sherbert.
Ryan Tannehill, we got him as our QB9 right now. He's a pretty safe guy. To be honest, he's super efficient. 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. They had Julio Jones. I mean, how he finished QB7 last year. Obviously he can finish a little bit better here. Now there's a lot more elite upside quarterbacks that are ahead of him. That's kind of why I think they are there where they are, kind of in Justin Herbert's situation. But Ryan Tannehill is really poised here to have over 4,000 passing yards and probably 35 plus touchdowns. I really believe that. Last year, 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground or 7 rushing touchdowns on the ground. So, Ryan Tannehill is a guy you should be targeting, especially late in drafts. On top of that, where you're drafting him, it's a value.
I'm going to keep this real short. Yeah, there are a lot of quarterbacks that finish ahead of him because they have a lot more targets. They just went and got Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Man, if you're talking about Matt Ryan as being, a top quarterback all these years, you can forget about that now. And you can welcome Ryan Tannehill back into this 5 conversation probably receive more MVP votes than Russell Wilson. It is what it is. Go get you some. That's all I got to say about it. 22 fantasy points per game last year he averaged, and that is sure to uptick here.
Yeah. QB9, get some Ryan Tannehill.
Period.
Russell Wilson, our number 8 quarterback. Call us crazy. But Russell Wilson's a pretty safe play for me on that top tier quarterbacks. I think he's going to have a very safe season. He has the opportunity to finish as the QB1 last season through the first 10 weeks. Let Russ cook. He was the number 1 quarterback, honestly, through the first 10 weeks of fantasy, I want to say. So, kind of tailed off towards the back end. The defense picked it up, started getting better. This season, they added some pieces. Eskridge in the draft. Gerald Everett at tight end position.
Very true.
Chris Carson, hopefully, should be fully healthy and ready to carry a decent load at the running back position. I think they can just get back to being a very sound football team that's really going to compete for the Super Bowl. And Russell Wilson is the safest quarterback for me without risk of injuries and things like that to be right here. So QB8, I think that's a good spot where we got him.
Yeah, I do too. That's still QB1, and, it's an excellent QB1. No, he has never been in the finish of the MVP vote. You know what I mean? But I think that it's because of the structure that they've always been a run-first team, pretty much. And you look at the offseason, there's been a lot of chatter. He wanted to be traded, been hit a lot, and all this other stuff. It's because, if you want to cook, right? You seen in the second half of that season last year where they started running the ball more because he wouldn't release the football. And I think that's what it is. You go get Eskridge in the draft. You go get Gerald Everett, guys that can be possession receivers. And I think that if you just get rid of the ball a little bit faster, you'll be a little bit better. I mean, with him holding on to the ball last year, that offensive line still graded out to middle of the pack 15. You know what I mean? So it's not really the offensive line. I think it's more of his play. And if we do see more of that, we can see MVP Russ.
Yeah.
We can see this guy finish the number 1 or in the top 5 easily. So I got him right here in the 8. All these guys really in the 10. I mean, we're talking about 20 to 25 points here, differential. So unless somebody has a nuclear season. But period, I mean, yes, they do have a tough strength of schedule, but they also got somebody that's unguardable in DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett, who is just like Diddy Kong the Donkey Kong over there. And, Russell Wilson is going to be throwing them barrels, period. Go get you some. 23 points per game last year, and we can expect that consistency as well this year.
Tom Brady, my number 7 quarterback.
Spoiler alert, this is not a consensus pick.
Okay. Coming off an absolute great season. They won the Super Bowl. 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 4,600 passing yards. He really did well, and he came on strong, especially really strong on the back end. They played bad defenses, but honestly, they were absolute dominant. Antonio Brown really came on strong. He's got 3 receivers that could have 1,000 yards here. All of them could have 8+ touchdowns. I mean, Gronkowski, O.J. Howard coming back. Bring the whole team back. Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. Another year of Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean, it's insane, this backfield, how stacked they are at every single position. Now, the reason I have him here, for me, the rushing upside. 6 total rushing yards last season. And for a top 5 fantasy quarterback, you have to do a whole hell of a lot in the passing game, and I mean exceed absolute expectations to get to that top 5 spot. So that's the only reason I got Brady here as my QB7. Can he get into that top 5 quarterbacks? He can. I absolutely believe he can. It's just going to take, obviously, one of his best seasons of his career.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of these quarterbacks now, they run the ball. They got a great floor. They can run the football, score these touchdowns. Hell, they even sell, T-shirts, cheerlead, and sell hot dogs in the stands. I mean, but they can't beat the GOAT. The 7th championship last year, and really all this momentum happened last year in the second half of the season after they played the Giants. When Antonio Brown hit this team, we seen them turn a different corner. And I think a second year in this Bruce Arians system with the best targets, the best offense in football, I mean, hands down, I think Brady is going to showcase, and that's why I got him at my number 2. I think this is going to be one of those seasons where you've seen the second year with Peyton Manning where they had Decker, Wes Welker, Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're going to put it on teams this year. And you talking about 6 games that are just premium plus in his division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry, that's my number 2 quarterback, but I understand why you got him at 7. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of upside guys that you could take above that who have the rushing ability, who, on fantasy rosters, you know what I'm saying, that'll help you out a little bit more too with the point differential or whatever. But yeah, number 7, Tom Brady, I agree with that as well.
Okay. Dak Prescott, our number 6 quarterback.
Is Dak back?
Consensus. You know what? Don't get me wrong. He's coming in with a shoulder strain. That's a big deal. It really is. It plays a factor here now. Hopefully he's ready to go week 1 and just be like, all systems go.
I
but
hope so too.
Last season you saw 27.8 fantasy points per game. Incredible in the 5 weeks he played. Averaged 371 passing yards per game. Now, I got Dak I'm a little bullish. The reason I got him down at 6 is just because I don't know if he's going to be able to produce those kind of numbers. I'm hoping the Dallas defense picks it up just a little bit. Micah Parsons, man, he's out there making plays. You've seen it in preseason already. But hopefully they can get this defense kind of tuned in just to be average. And the offense is going to be surefire. Zeke, looking as healthy and strong as he's ever looked. The receivers, Amari Cooper should be ready week 1. You know what CeeDee Lamb is, Michael Gallup. It should be all systems go here. I just don't know if Dak's going to really put on as many numbers as we hope to see. Now, yes, Dak can absolutely finish as the QB1. I mean, just based on last season, he was on pace over 6,000 passing yards. It's incredible. So, Dak Prescott, the number 6 quarterback. I think this is just a safe spot to have him.
Yeah, you look at the Dallas Cowboys, and like we just talked about, Brady is really great that we did, because outside of that Tampa Bay offense, I think that on paper, the Cowboys have the best offense, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, who was emerging as a beast, and then you go throw CeeDee Lamb on top of that.
Yeah.
Jarwin, all those guys, you know what I'm saying? And Ezekiel Elliott, I may have to readjust my rankings because I believe that Ezekiel Elliott may be my number 1 running back going into the season. But with Dak Prescott, the only thing that's concerning me is the injuries and how that plays a psychological effect. You know what I'm saying? What is he going to do when he first get hit? One thing that a lot of people ain't talking about, and, I think this is the whole point of the injury, his foot was on his shin bone last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's his rushing floor?
Yeah.
Is he still going to have that rushing floor? I don't know if he is. Is he going to be more of a field general? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we never really seen that in Dak just to be a field general, except for the first couple of weeks last season. But if he can continue that pace, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're getting this guy outside of, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, probably Kyler Murray. Probably get him as the 5th quarterback. So the sky's the limit for him as well. I know I keep saying the sky's the limit, but these guys, these top 10 quarterbacks, top 12 quarterbacks, I mean, that's truly what it is.
Yeah, and dealing with the injury, obviously, if he's sliding in your drafts, feel free to take him.
Yeah,
I still
real.
think he's going to be elite. I mean,
I would just scoop him up. Instead of going to take that tight end, if Dak is there, I'm taking him.
yep. Aaron Rodgers, my number 5 quarterback. Now, aren't on the same page here.
The
Kind of
MVP,
like Tom Brady. Yeah.
Mr. McCream-Littleberry himself. I just don't see how.
Okay.
But that's all right.
Yeah, so number 5 quarterback. Last season, won the MVP. 51 total touchdowns, 48 through the air, only 5 interceptions. Had his best season, by far. So, how much can we expect here? Now, look, there's talks of the last dance. This could be a season just to really put in Green Bay's face, in my opinion. I really think Aaron Rodgers could be the number 1 quarterback, similar to what you think with Tom Brady. I really do think Aaron Rodgers could be that this season. Coming in, Robert Tonyan, 11 touchdowns last year, had a great year. He wants Randall Cobb back. He's going to play a few games. Devontae Adams is great. Aaron Jones, I mean, on offense, it's legit, period. The defense, yeah, there'll be some question marks, but it isn't going to matter.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he does. And I got to say, at 6, once again, with a lot of these quarterbacks, it's a safe place to put him just because his rushing upside is not as high as some of the other guys. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and then obviously Patrick Mahomes, just complete upside as it is. So I got Aaron Rodgers at the 5 spot.
Yeah, I got him at 3. I mean, if you don't feel like you're there, all you got to do is do the double check.
Okay.
Because that's what it is, man. Period.
Lamar Jackson, our number 4 quarterback, consensus here. Under 3,000 passing yards last year. Finishes the QB 10 still. 26 touchdowns. 1,000 rushing yards, back-to-back seasons. I have a feeling Lamar Jackson could be the QB1 again this season.
Me
Now,
too.
I worry some pass catchers are hurt. Rashad Bateman going in for surgery.
Yeah, that absolutely sucks.
that's-
Because there's a lot of hype around him. And there's more than hype. That kid is actually a beast. And, in Dynasty, it's going to suck for you. You probably going to have to sit on him. But right now in redraft, I don't know if I could even take him off the board right now. He's going to be one of these waiver wire heroes. But, you got Marquise coming back. You know what I mean? Hopefully. And Sammy Watkins. We forget about Sammy Watkins and these guys. You know what I'm saying? If one wide receiver just works,
Yeah.
dude, we can see the number 1 Lamar Jackson, the MVP Lamar Jackson,
Yes.
because basically he's the best running back in the league that just happens to throw 3,500 passing yards. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I mean, 1,000 back-to-back rushing yards. I mean, is more than likely that's going to happen again this year.
Yeah, of course. And I think the offensive line, hopefully they can fix that up. You saw last year it fell apart a little bit in certain spots. He didn't have a lot of time. That's why he kind of hit that back door, had the rushing yards he did, and just missed on some throws. That's where I really felt like he missed with Marquise Brown, especially early in the season. That cost him some touchdowns,
Yeah.
and that cost him fantasy points. Honestly, he still had a lot of fantasy points for being the QB 10. It was just the difference is the 10 touchdowns from the previous season where he was the MVP.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson at the 4, the supreme rushing quarterback in this league, and you got to take him. Period. Is a top 5 player. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Kyler Murray, my number 3 ranked quarterback.
The little engine that could.
Absolutely, last season. Finishes the QB2. To be honest, he was QB1 going into last week. Josh Allen just took it out from underneath him. 800 rushing yards last season. 11 rushing touchdowns. Now, yeah, 11 rushing touchdowns is hard to predict, but I think his passing touchdowns, 26 last season, you could see an increase here. 4,000 passing yards. Now, I worry about the injuries. That's the biggest concern with the top guys here because he is a smaller guy. The offensive line, they did help it a little bit, but the running back position, hopefully James Conner and Chase Edmonds can stay on the field and stay productive so that they can take a little load off of Kyler Murray here. He's just not the same build as a Josh Allen who's going to have that similar rushing style. So I love Kyler Murray here. Strength schedule is good. And to really look at it, strength schedule for the running backs is good, which helps a mobile quarterback. So I got to have Kyler Murray here at the number 3 spot.
Yeah, me too. You even look at the pass catchers. You Hopkins, and then you go add a AJ Green, who we don't even know what that's going to be, and Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk. These guys are burners. You know what I mean? Only way that I see like him not being very good is not being able to throw over the offensive line. But we already seen that he is successful at doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, man, I hate to say this again, but sky's the limit. I don't think that they'll be competitive as far as like winning that division, but they're going to upset a lot of people next year. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely going to fuck up a lot of spreads. Kyler Murray's a beast. 24.5 fantasy points per game last year. Finished number 2, as you mentioned. He has that mini upside at, I don't mean to say mini, you know what I'm saying, at the rest of the
No
position.
pun intended.
His floor, I mean, is second behind Lamar Jackson, 813 rushing yards last year. So, I mean, that's just automatic. And then you go to the red zone this year. I mean, they replaced Kenyon Drake with a guy who been notorious in the red zone, period, catching the ball. You know what I mean? And James Conner. So, I mean, man, you have to like this for his value. He's our guy right there.
Josh Allen.
The COVID champion.
Absolutely. Number 2 quarterback. That's where we got him ranked. Finished number 1 quarterback last season. Patrick Mahomes missed a game. Honestly, they were on the same pace at the same fantasy points per game. So you could say they were 1-2 anyway. But Josh Allen really saw a huge leap in his production.
Mahomes is also in a lot of one-score games.
Yeah, with the addition of Stephon Diggs, you saw that big leap.
Yeah, that's true.
So 37 touchdowns through the air, only 10 interceptions. 8 rushing touchdowns on the ground. I think Josh Allen's production of what he did last season could be repeatable. That's kind of how I see it. He had a very good season. Nothing stood out outstandingly, but I really think with the addition of Emmanuel Sanders, you could see his production just maintain here, and he's going to finish in the top 3, I really think, barring injury, as a top 3 quarterback, regardless.
I have questions about Josh Allen. I have him on number 5 quarterback, and for me, it's going to be a thing where he has to finish in the top 5 to make him that valuable for me. Do I think he's a great talent? Absolutely. I think he's one of the top 5 talents in this league. Here's the thing, though: they still can't run the ball. We don't know who's going to be the starting running back. Also, a lot of teams.
Josh Allen.
I mean,
if
that's safe for the team, you know what I'm saying? I mean, his rushing floor should go nowhere, right? Especially in the red zone. You know what I mean? That's when it counts the most. But looking at Emmanuel Sanders, that should be an upgrade over John Brown. You know what I mean? But he is a little bit older than John Brown.
Yeah.
Also, I think he faced a lot of defenses last year that had a lot of players that was opted out. You look at, the incumbent New England Patriots. They weren't the New England Patriots last year, even on defense. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see him repeated. I want him to just show everybody all his doubters wrong and just do it one more season. And then we could really, build him as this top 3 guy. You know what I mean? That's it for me. But as far as talent-wise, he's up there with Dak, Mahomes, Brady, all these guys that's in this conversation, period. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, of course. But with all that being said, he finished QB1 last season, and where you're drafting him at, it's a pretty good value. If you can get him in the 3rd to 4th round, I think that's the best spot to be able to pick up Josh Allen.
That's definitely.
It's going to be valuable for you.
Yeah, period.
Patrick Mahomes, the consensus number 1 pick.
Period.
I mean, it's set it and forget it, surefire. 4,700 passing yards last season. Honestly, you could almost say it felt like a down year for Patrick Mahomes, and he still finished tied for fantasy points per game with the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah.
So 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. This season, I feel like he's got something to prove, really, after losing the Super Bowl. I worry.
Actually getting whooped in the Super Bowl.
I know, I'm telling you.
I don't mean to keep doing that, but.
Okay, that's fine.
Called that.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. I'll tell you right now, I worry a little bit about the Super Bowl hangover. Sometimes the teams that lose tend to struggle out the gate, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem. Patrick Mahomes is set it and forget it. Now, drafting him. Would you draft Patrick Mahomes necessarily in the 1st round? In a 10-man league?
It's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can get Tyreek Hill there. If you can get Tyreek Hill or Kelsey, you really want to cuff him. You know what I mean? Other than that, he's the first quarterback coming off the board. And you think about it, yes, he does have a lot to prove this year. I think he's going to go nuclear. I swear to God, I think that we're looking at a 5,050 kind of year. That's just me. I'm thinking that way because what we seen last year of them being in a lot of one-score games last year, that they did not cover a lot of spreads, and it was due to that offensive line. So they get rid of Schwartz, they get rid of Eric Fisher, and replace these guys with pros. You know what I mean? Brown from Baltimore. I mean, they got heat over there.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come out and really just smoke something.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes, it's easy to say he's the QB1.
Period.
Yep.
But my homeboy, the number 1 quarterback coming off the board this year, if you don't have one of these 12 guys that's in these rankings, your team probably sucks.
Yeah. So, don't forget, if you like the video, subscribe, share a thumb bell, all that good stuff, comment. Drop a comment if you don't agree with some of the quarterbacks, that's fine. Let us know who you want to hear about. We'll get back to you. So, for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott.
DOD.
And we out.
Yeah.